Yes. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Priyanka. Yes.
Good morning.
Sit down.
Good
Sit
morning.
down.
Thank you.
Priyanka, you are from Maharashtra.
Yes, sir.
Which part of Maharashtra?
Western Maharashtra.
Western Maharashtra. And district?
Nashik.
Nashik. Okay. Yes. So, see, I am a newcomer visiting Nashik for the first time.
Yes.
So, what 3 places would you suggest to visit?
Actually, Nashik is considered as the pilgrimage city of Maharashtra. So first, I will take you to the Kalaram temple,
Okay.
which is famous for the Kalaram, which was even recently used.
Now, you are a student of political science.
Yes.
Now, how do you interpret that? Let us keep aside the color of the stone.
I'm not able to.
Now, how do you interpret that?
Because it's
No,
about.
you can take liberty. I am not asking how people perceive, understand that. But
Okay.
being student of political science, you are asked to interpret. How do you do that?
So first thing, keeping aside the mythological thing, keeping aside. So second thing is Nashik belongs to the Deccan part. So maybe the geographical origin of that stone can be regarded as one of the reasons. And to just make it more of interesting thing so that attract people to visit the temple. Maybe this may be the reason.
What was the year in which the temple was built?
I think it was. I'm not sure, but I think it was in the 18th century.
Okay, quite interesting. Okay. See, what made me to ask you this question? You are again student of political science. Gandhi named his ideal order, ideal state, so to say, in the name of Ram Rajya. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what did Gandhi exactly has in mind when he named his ideal order as Ram Rajya?
Gandhian concept of Ram Rajya is the state where there will be empowerment of masses with the people-centric participation, which we call as civic participation. Another thing about Gandhian Ram Rajya was about there would be equality of status and of opportunity to everyone. Another thing was what Gandhi thought of having would be the state where there will be liberty to everyone, and it would provide them with the Gandhian concept of village panchayat.
So, in a sense, he was not at all thinking about, because if we get back to the Ram Rajya, let us imagine it prevailed for some time, even if it is a mythology. So, it must have been monarchy. Yes, okay, but still, Gandhi uses the name of Rama, okay, and then applies it to name in order to name his ideal order. So, isn't it contradictory? Or he had something else in his mind?
But Mr. Gandhi aspired of a stateless society where there would be participation of people. But according to my interpretation, it would be the state where there would be a preference to all creation. And another thing about I don't think it was like a contradiction, but he was just aspiring everyone to be like Ram, who will be the noble in his behavior and would be rational in his thoughts.
Okay, fine. Let us make it further simple. So many people being devotees, okay, of Ram. How do they perceive Ram? What does Ram stand for? A common person.
Very common term used to Ram is like Maryada Purushottam,
Okay.
who is regarded as the one who has actually led by example. People perceive him like the one who is ideal king, who is perceived as ideal husband, and also son and the brother. This is the awareness. So everyone is expected to be rational and noble in his words and deeds.
Okay. So Maryada Purushottam is something which is very important and significant about Ram. Okay. Quite interesting. You have done a lot. Okay. To begin with, you participated in Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. In what capacity?
So Commonwealth, as a student,
okay.
Can I just explain about it? So Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Maharashtra branch organizes one event every year in Nagpur, winter session, where they where they select top 6 students from each university of Maharashtra to represent and to understand to get the practical understanding as to what exactly parliamentary proceedings are.
Oh yes, okay, okay. So thereby you get a chance to watch. Yes, okay, 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 interesting.
Even I was a leader there, so I got an opportunity to present vote of thanks on behalf of my university in front of all the MLAs.
And for how many days were you part of this?
It was for 1 week, organized for 1 week.
Okay, and you were sort of attending the parliamentary business.
Yes, sir.
So, if I ask you, what are the 2 takeaways from your experience at Nagpur?
The one, I got an opportunity to speak in front of MLAs. Okay. So the first thing that I learned from there is what exactly is the responsibility of public representative and how they can serve in the best interest of the people. Because from there I got an opportunity to have even informal talks with you. So this was an opportunity to learn the politics.
But did you learn something which you were not aware till that moment after watching the live session of the Vidhan Sabha, okay, the state legislative assembly? So something which comes to your mind, oh, this is something which was that is you were not aware of, but then subsequently came to know about that.
The one thing that I was not aware about was exactly how the process of making that bill comes in.
Okay.
Because even we got an opportunity to visit the bureaucratic offices over there. Okay. So they told us how exactly when the MLAs send the request about what exactly they are going to speak there and how the proceedings continue. Till there, when even we have studied that there are some colors given to particular bill presented by private member and by the minister. So this was what I was not aware about.
Okay, so what some bill presented in those 7 days in the house? No. Any proceeding which you can recollect of?
One proceeding that I am recollecting is about at that point there was a continuance of Belgaum issue, border conflict between Maharashtra and Karnataka. And the other was about suspension of one of the MLAs, Mr. Jagat.
Oh, okay. That was something. Now, see, in Paul science, as part of Indian government and politics, you must have read a lot about decline of parliament. Okay. Now, even if you participated in functioning working of a state legislative assembly, nonetheless, it is a parliamentary house. It is a parliament. Okay. So, at least state level, let us say. We don't use that word per se. State legislative assembly. Now, what does the notion stand for? Decline of parliament.
Decline of parliament is actually, we can say that it was in use just because of the parliament. Decline of parliament means it was specifically about proceedings of parliament or the non-functioning of parliamentary machineries and instruments like parliamentary committees or the lack of discussion and deliberation in the house. Another thing was about model code of conduct followed by the parliamentarians, representatives of people. But when I went there, then I found that what media is covering. I'm not criticizing the media, but what I found is there was just a breaking news that this has not happened and the house has been suspended. But actual proceedings which we have observed is actually they work for even after the parliamentary hours, means beyond their normal call of duty. Also, they complete their task. This is what I have found. Okay. So this is how.
Okay, so whatever happens in the house is something completely different, and something selective is taken away from that. Taken from the proceeding, and it is publicized in sort of a disproportionate way. Okay, fine. But as part of decline of parliament, should we worry about the qualitative decline of the proceeding of the parliament or legislative bodies as well? So, including parliament as well as state legislative assembly. Should we worry about that? The quality of the debate, okay, the way in which bills are passed. Should we worry about that?
Yes. if it comes to our mind that there is decline of parliament, then definitely people should be aware of it and people should take proactive steps in that direction. Even as our thinker in political sciences put it by Hannah Arendt, that there should be people-centric government and there should be participation of people. So, if we found that there is decline of parliament, then people have that right to ensure that all the functionaries work in proper time and in the stipulated framework. So, for that, people have a specific role as such, and I think in that case, what media is doing is actually good that they make people aware as to what exactly is happening in the parliament and what should be the role of people, because they are accountable to us.
Okay. See, Dr. Ambedkar was a staunch advocate of democracy as a form of government, but he was also aware of the limitations of the same. Now, keeping in mind the nature of Indian society, he propounded the idea of social democracy. Okay. Now, how do you simply convince us about the relevance of the idea? So, A, what was that idea all about? Social democracy. And B, why did we need that?
Dr. Ambedkar categorized democracy into two types. As to one was about political democracy, which he tried to ensure through reservation and affirmative action, that is positive discrimination. But what he thought that positive discrimination or political democracy is not sufficient for the empowerment of every section of society. So he advocated for idea of social democracy, where there will be equal opportunity to every section and every strata of society, including scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, women, and all other sections. Through this idea, he wanted to say that in the society, each one will contribute.
Now, did Ambedkar have something particularly in mind when he used the word social? So, what social he had in his mind?
Specifically talking about caste hierarchy, in the context of India, identity politics and the caste identity plays major role in every society, in every strata. So to bring parity in all the sections, Ambedkar advocated for social democracy.
Okay, but no less than annihilation of caste. Okay, doing away with the caste system. Unless and until we do that, even if we adopt political democracy as one individual, one vote, one value, the future of that kind of restricted, limited idea of democracy would not be good. Okay, okay, that was one thing. Now, did Ambedkar have something in mind as far as the economic dimension is concerned? Social is okay, no doubt about it, but economic, so did that idea have economic facet, social democracy?
Yes. Economy plays important role in the social
again from Dr. Ambedkar's perspective.
While linking caste hierarchy to means caste plays an important role, as I have quoted, and it was during the independence era. It was a particular and prevailing notion that each caste was assigned particular task that used to play a role in economy of that particular. So maybe this has been the dimension of Dr. Ambedkar while talking about economic democracy. So detaching people from their particular generational job and making them aware of other opportunities has been his main motive behind economic democracy.
Okay. See, Gandhi Ambedkar had a serious fight over an issue, that is the caste. So what was the fundamental point of disagreement between Ambedkar and Gandhi?
Gandhian notion of caste was detached from Varna system. What Gandhi told that means there was categorization into four Varnas of Indian society. Those were Brahmin, Kshatriya, Shudra, and Vaishya. So what Gandhi said was Varna system can be eliminated and it would eventually lead to eradication of caste system. But according to Ambedkar, Varna and caste system are entangled and closely interlinked. So, for the annihilation of caste, just eradication of Varna system would not be sufficient, and there should be annihilation of caste.
Okay. Anything else which comes to your mind about the disagreement? Okay, fine. No. Don't worry about that. Okay. you write diary. Since when you have been doing that?
So it has been my hobby since school days.
Oh,
I used
good.
to write since 9th to 10th standard.
Okay.
But in some few days during COVID, I was not able to do that.
So what was the form of that? Was it just writing down whatever happened on a given day, or some reflection also?
Usually, I used to write what happened with me, but on the special occasions, I used to write exactly what I have learned from that event, what has been so special about that day. I have means one special day like my result day as such, or even when I visited the Parliamentary Association. So it's been something when I used to write what I have exactly learned from the event.
And what have you read about, sorry, as part of that, recently? Recent one.
What I have read.
Yes, as part of diary writing.
So very recently, not very recently, but one of the interesting thing is about my, I would just say about my evolution of this skill. I used to write, and even now I used to write it on pen and paper, but when I think that this is the safe place where I can keep my secrets. So one day before the result of mains, I have written about what exactly would be my performance, how would I perform. I haven't tell anyone that I would be able to clear it.
So that was the last thing you wrote about?
No, that was not the last thing, but that was memorable.
Okay. Fine. See. We have been talking about reforming UN, United Nations organizations, since many decades, but nothing is happening. I think the last reform, even if it was not major, increasing the number of non-permanent members of the Security Council. Okay, and if I am not wrong, I guess that happened in the year 1965, 64, 65. Okay, now how are we supposed to deal with that question rather than need to reform the UN and make it contemporary?
Reforming UN is first and the foremost thing, even in the agenda of India. India has been demanding the reform of United Nations because it was thing of the past when UN used to represent all the interests of every member. Because it was a very limited membership and now it has been expanded to a great extent. So expansion of United Nations is one of the priority because it has seen and witnessed so many failures in the recent context as well. If we talk about so many wars and conflicts happening in the contemporary era. So as quoted by our External Affairs Minister, Mr. Jaishankar, this has been United Nations 5 permanent members. He has quoted them as 5 self-declared sovereigns, and it needs to be reformed to reflect the.
Now we want to become one of them.
One of the members, being the representative of Global South, and as far as the criteria are concerned, though there are no specific criteria, but if we see the present and contemporary realities, then India must be given the ability. But the main thing about this non-reforms is about the veto power and the power given to the 5 permanent members. So, due to the lack of consensus amongst the members, this has not been successful yet.
How do you look at down the line, say after 5 years, the fate of world order? What is likely to happen?
The world order would definitely be the multipolar one, where India would have one even major stake in that multipolar world, and even India would be at the center of the geopolitics.
See, one may call it as a paradox. Okay, on one hand, our economic strength, our political strength is increasing. Okay, as a nation state. Okay, but on the other hand, if you take note of our relationship with the immediate neighbor, the South Asian countries, members of the SAARC, okay, I don't think India's foreign policy is going in the right direction. Okay, so on one hand, sort of there is a progression, but on the other hand, there is sort of a decline. So why this is happening. We are not just able to convince our neighbors.
So in the present multipolar world order, each country is trying to present their own interest and strongly asserting their own interest in the global economy. So, though there might occur that there are conflicts among the neighborhood, and this may be due to their own internal politics. But on the other hand, India and Indian foreign policy is strongly trying to handle the situation. Though it is like a tightrope diplomacy, but the way in which Indian External Affairs Ministry is handling the situation is up to the mark. And these small conflicts is actually the part and parcel of foreign policy. But and this is not for the first time that neighbors are like behaving or acting in such a manner. But definitely India can and would be able to handle the situation. Instead of just portraying as the big brother approach, India is trying to convince them about its through persuasion and through diplomatic ties. India is trying to handle the situation.
Okay. Yeah, the present government, some time ago, passed women's reservation bill. Okay, it was for a long time pending, then subsequently lapsed. Okay, so this government ultimately passed that, but there are so many issues with that. Okay, but let us look at it as a positive step. Now, is there something which concerns you? It makes you worry about that.
The way which we are talking about is actually Nari Shakti Bandhan Adhiniam. So while talking about it, the main limitation is about its implementation, because we are about to have our election in the year 2024, and we have not yet done about census and the delimitation. So this is the main thing which even opposition parties were targeting as to when exactly it would be implemented. So this should be the concern. And while actually I must say that this is a progressive step taken in the right direction. But if we talk about its implementation, we need to think about all the flaws that we witnessed during the implementation of one-third reservation in the local self-government. If we would be able to tackle those.
Now, what is the fundamental difference? One fundamental difference that is quite significant between the policy of reservation, which we have been implementing since 92, 93. Okay, in connection with local bodies, and this bill. Is there any fundamental difference?
I'm not able to recall exact difference.
Now, what is likely to happen if we implement? Let us keep aside those aspects of the census and the delimitation. Let us assume eventually it would happen, and we started implementing the bill. What is like now? Which part of or section of our society is likely to benefit most if we implement the bill as it is?
So this concept of quota within quota would what we call in political science is like an intersectionality. So there might happen that those sections of society which are already empowered, like from the like those who are not from scheduled castes or scheduled tribes, would not be able to get those benefits, and they would just represent and there would not be the actual empowerment of those sections.
Yes. If you are asked to point out two major consequences, and that too positive, in politics of India, likely to happen if we implement women's reservation.
Main thing would be increased participation of women. Presently, the women MPs in the Lok Sabha is 82, I guess. I'm not sure, but I think it is 82. So the first thing it would increase the share of women in the representation. So it might lead to one thing that women-centric policies would increase. Already these policies are being implemented, but the third thing would be there would be the woman angle given to this bill, and it would be in the betterment of not just for the women section but to the overall empowerment of society. And the second thing that I feel it would give women the opportunity to not just deliberate and discuss about the issues, but to actually implement this section, and it would eventually lead to generational empowerment of women.
Okay, so that are two things. Okay, good. Okay, Priyanka, your father is teacher, and where he teaches? He's a school teacher.
Yes, sir, higher secondary.
Higher secondary. Okay. And from your dad, it appears that you have also cleared NET and SET, and you have also been awarded Junior Research Fellowship.
Yes, very recently.
Okay, okay. So, given these achievements, what makes you to come to this career instead? Rather, you should be pursuing research and then probably teacher as a career. So, why did you choose that as a path?
Actually, academics is a very noble profession, and I have learned so many basic things about teaching and academics from my father as well. But through these achievements, like NET and SET and my career and my knowledge from masters and graduation and post graduation would actually act like a guideline for me to actually implement what I have learned in my academics through the civil services, and it would be more beneficial for me to enhance my skills and to actually implement this in the practical way in the society in civil services.
But as rightly said by you, your father must have definitely influenced you and have brought you to this level. Don't you think that a teacher is far more a better profession for you, and you will be in a better position to shape the minds, youngsters, and then build more IAS officers than you becoming one?
Definitely, sir. This could have been the possibility, but as far as my interests are concerned, learning is one of the part, but actual implementation is second. For me, actual implementation of my knowledge would be in the better interest of mine to unfold my personality holistically. Through academics, it would be possible to shape the minds, but through civil services, it would be in my interest. It would be more of bringing positive change in the lives of not just the students but to the whole society as well.
Okay, given an opportunity, in which or on which topic would you like to pursue research? Have you given thought to it?
As I have recently qualified for the Junior Research Fellowship, so not yet decided the topic, but the area which I would like to work upon is about women's studies.
Women's studies.
Yes.
And why is that?
While pursuing my career in MA, I got to know that there are so many opportunities present to women, but they are not able to get knowledge about it. Like women-centric schemes are not up to the mark because of the awareness. So through my research, I would like to learn as to what exactly are the problems during the implementation, and I would try to learn about it too.
Okay. Now, because we are talking about this, like women and women issues, what do you think would be the challenges or are existing challenges for women in the administration?
Firstly, entry into the administration. Second would be second challenge in the administration is about staying there for the sustainable and the long term, because of maybe this is because of the atmosphere where women are working is not favorable to them. This has not been the case in all the offices, but there are some instances where women might feel that they are not being provided a safe environment. So this is the area.
For example,
it could be about infrastructure, proper infrastructure for the health and sanitation of women and for the transport as such. So this could be the area.
Do you think that women are not being considered equal to men when it comes to system and giving positions which are commanding positions? Say, for example, in police system being more particular. How do you look at that? Do you think that would be a challenge that you may say given a position, say as an IPS officer? Do you really think that women would not be in a position to handle the responsibility of the office?
The first thing is, I don't think women are being denied an opportunity as such, because there is specific criteria for any post. If you want to pursue career in any field, They provide you with certain criteria, and if you are able to fulfill that, you will be given an opportunity. Like if I could qualify for the medical training, then definitely I would get IPS as such.
So you are looking positively towards it.
Yes.
Priyanka, the state that you come from has been going through in past almost 1.5 years, has been going through a very difficult political turmoil, and somehow it appears that it has been resolved in a very different manner. So, what is your opinion? Why are these things developing in your state?
So the political turmoil which you are trying to explain is about anti-defection case that happened in case of Shiva Sena and NCP, Nationalist Congress Party. So what happened there was about anti-defection case where the group of members defected from that particular party, and since it was about 2/3 majority, so the what verdict given was Honorable Speaker of Maharashtra was in favor of Bharat Thackeray, Bharat Thackeray faction, which we call as which is headed by Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So this was what according what has been mentioned.
The verdict was basically none of them are disqualified. Both the factions have been qualified.
Yes.
So what remains of anti-defection law? And in fact, overall democracy appears to be being suffocated.
The main concern was about the verdict of whip, position of whip. So the main.
No, as a voter, how do you look at it? As a voter, let's forget about technical details of the same. Like from voters' perspective, how do you look at those developments?
As a voter, there should be respect of every voter as to their as the representatives or accountable to the people. So no suspension has been actually in favor of people because they would get due representation over there. But I think if this has been the case, then fresh elections can have been the solution to this.
But there is breach of voters' trust, isn't it? Or you don't think so?
No, I don't think this has been the breach of trust by people, because what they were expecting is having their representatives there, addressing their concerns and trying to bring them at the forefront is the main concern of every voter. So this is being done there.
Okay, Priyanka, last question from my side. Who is your idol in your life and why?
In my life, my idol is my mother, who has taught the thing why she is my idol is one thing. She has taught me how to behave in public and what exactly should be our conduct while interacting with the people. Second thing which she taught me is about dreaming. She has given me that courage and that force as to I can dream. And I think third thing that she has given is she has sacrificed her life, not as per sacrifice, but this has been part of her career, for her life, that she dreamed that though I was not able to become an IAS officer, but definitely I would make my daughter capable that she can pursue her dream and her career.
What are those basic values that your mother taught you and which are very precious to carry forward henceforth in your life?
The first thing is self-confidence and to believe in yourself. This has been the first thing. And the second thing that she has taught me is to portray yourself as one of the noblest and the calm and kind person, which would be lovable and adorable by everyone which I could be.
Priyanka, you have observed leading and managing groups. So how you will differentiate between leading and managing?
So leadership is about taking decisions and implementing it. As such, and where you actually lead by example. And when it comes to management, it could be about the resources, human resource or the finance and the management is more of about coordination and I'm not able to exactly define it, but actually management is just about implementing what has been taught to you, and leadership is about showing creativity in something that you are trying to pursue.
Okay, and according to your own experience, which was more difficult? Which leadership was more difficult, or management of those group affairs, your different type of group activities you manage? So what was more difficult?
More or less, both of the tasks are actually same, but when it comes to my experience, leadership was a little bit of easy because where there you were supposed to just take the decision and implement it in your own way. But when it comes to management, there you have to not just think about giving the command, but even you are supposed to take care of every section which you are going to represent.
But actually, when we see in different sectors of life, we get very few leaders, where we get a lot of management people, managers. So in actual life, when we see management is relatively simple and leadership is it's very difficult. So what are the actually essential qualities which are required for leader?
The essential quality of leader is strong belief in oneself and the strong power of taking decision and implementing it in the desired manner so that to achieve the desired goals. This has been the first quality. Second quality of leader is about bringing out the best out of his team members. This can be done through making people trust their capabilities and to properly channelize them for the larger goal of group and the society which they are representing. These are the most important qualities of a leader.
Okay, it is said that leader should be visionary. This is exactly what.
Visionary for me means the one who has broader perspective, who is aware about past experiences and the past mistakes committed by himself or by others. Visionary means not just about bringing about what would be the present situation and how he would be or she would be going to manage the present situation, but also aware about the future possibilities and the future challenges that might come in that journey. So visionary means having knowledge of not just the present but about past and the future.
Okay, having knowledge past and future is visionary leadership.
And also about ways and means to achieve the desired end in specific manner.
Can you give name of your favorite leaders from different actually sectors of life, not necessarily from one field?
One of the leadership that I am now able to recall is about Dr. Ambedkar, who has fought for the not just for the caste and annihilation of caste, but also about as mentioned earlier, who fought for the political and social democracy through various means.
Others, this is one example. Means different type of leaders are there.
Yes.
So can you give any example of leader in sports, leader in social sector, leader in industries?
One of my favorite leaders from sports field is MS Dhoni. The reason why he is my ideal of why he is about his sportsmanship. He has been the one. If we have observed keenly that when we won the World Cup, he was at the very corner of the team of that image, and he gave the trophy to his team members, which is showing success of the team goes to the team members, and if there comes the failure, then he is able to take that responsibility. This has been the main reason. In case of women representative, I think one of the name to which given to my university is Savitribai Phule. She has been a remarkable leader because she worked in an era when there was strong opposition to not just women education, but for the overall growth of women, there was denial. And in that era, she tried to lead by example, working along with Mahatma Phule. So she is one of the leaders.
Okay. Was he a follower or leader? Was she a follower of Mahatma Phule, or she herself was a leader?
In the start of her career, it might seem that she has just been the follower of what Mahatma Phule told her, but gradually she started learning as to exactly what she is expected to do, and she gradually became a leader herself, becoming the first teacher in India.
Yes, Priyanka, just one last thing. You are selected as an IAS officer. Okay, I guess that's your first choice.
Yes.
IAS is your first choice. Okay. Then do you have something in mind as priorities to be taken up by?
priority would be in the area of social development through education and health sector. It would be not just about children or women, but overall development of society through cleanliness and sanitation as such. Second priority would be about boosting economy and through small and medium sector enterprises. This would be the second priority, and for the this would be helpful for the overall empowerment of society. And the third area where I would like to work upon is in the sector of this sector would be about tribals development, because I belong to the area which is reserved for tribals, and I have seen so many problems in the tribal community, and I would definitely would love to work upon the areas.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.